The two sisters were reborn 3 years back at the same time, but this time, the older sister acted out of character. She rushed ahead of her younger sister to save the beggar she once despised the most in her past life, and even agreed to become his wife. In the previous life, it was the younger sister who saved the beggar. They got married, and the beggar climbed the ranks all the way to becoming the prime minister. Meanwhile, the older sister sacrificed herself to protect her younger sister. She chose to seek refuge with a ruthless gang leader, only to end up as a pawn in his political schemes. She suffered endless humiliation and was ultimately forced to slit her wrists and die. The younger sister sought revenge for her. She confronted the gang leader, only to discover that her own husband was standing by his side, and in order to marry a woman of power, he plunged a knife into her pregnant belly. What the beggar never knew was that without the younger sister's silent support from behind the scenes, he would never have made it to the prime minister's seat. The woman was then thrown out onto the streets, where she met a tragic end. But in the very next moment, the younger sister was reborn 3 years back, to the day the beggar blocked the carriage, begging for help. This time, she swore she would never save him again, but to her surprise, the older sister snatched the dry rations from her hands, got off the carriage and gave them to the beggar, then decided to take him to a doctor for treatment. In that instant, the younger sister realized her older sister had most likely been reborn as well, so she got off the carriage and questioned her sister. But the older sister exploded in anger, saying she had long grown tired of always protecting her. She handed over the family's only heirloom to the younger sister, declaring that from this moment on, their ties were severed. Then, she left with the beggar. The younger sister believed that since her older sister had died early in the past life, she had no idea of the beggar's true nature, so she decided to deal with the gang leader first, then go save her sister. Not long after, the younger sister changed into an elegant gown. She took out the jade pendant her sister had given her, and sought out the gang leader, but the leader dismissed her, saying she was too plain looking for his taste. Thinking fast, the younger sister decided to approach from a different angle. She walked straight to the man sitting across from the leader at the gambling table, and exposed him for cheating on the spot. The gang leader was furious. He ordered his men to take the cheater away, and have his hands chopped off. The only reason the younger sister knew he was cheating was because of her memories from the past life. The gang leader was intrigued. He asked what other skills she had. Unexpectedly, the younger sister made a bold claim. She said she could help him become the most feared crime lord in Shanghai, the ruler of the underworld, the most powerful force in the world. She then predicted that in half a month, a sudden blizzard would hit New York, and if the leader was willing to invest in stockpiling grain now, when prices surged later, the profits would be at least 20 times the original cost. The leader burst into laughter, calling it a joke, saying it was only October. There was no way a blizzard would hit New York, but the younger sister stood her ground. She declared that if she was wrong, he could do whatever he wanted with her, but if she was right, she wanted 30% of the profits, and in return, he had to help her eliminate someone. Meanwhile, the older sister brought a bowl of medicinal soup to the beggar, but was startled by the armed guards inside the room. At that moment, the beggar got up and reassured her, explaining that he used to be a messenger for the gang leader, but was injured on a mission. Without the younger sister's help in this lifetime, the two sisters were reborn 3 years back at the same time, but this time, the older sister acted out of character.